Well, hello there, and welcome to Nuke. Getting right into this utility guide, let's start off with our outside smokes. A good idea, also before we begin, is to break out these windows here in spawn. It's always a good idea to do that at the beginning of a round on T side, because there's a lot of utility for A side that can be thrown through those windows, and they have to be broken. There is one piece of utility that I know that requires like these super far back windows to be broken, and one that requires them to not be. And it's kind of easier, it's a lot easier to throw it if it's broken. So the best way to do that is just, I mean, you can come up here and you can just try and shoot them out with your Glock, like this. Or you can just chuck a nade up there, but I don't feel like that's worth it, just to break a couple windows. But anyway, after you've got those prerequisites out of the way, we're going to start off with a little outside utility. So the standard smoke wall for outside can be thrown from this set. And I'm going to try and do some utility from the standpoint of like positions. Like this is a position right here, and you can throw 2 smokes from it. So if you get your teammate to drop you a smoke, that just cuts the work in half. So if you aim between the middle here of these 2 windows and jump throw, that's 1 smoke. And then you go between this dot and this box right here and jump throw, that's the other smoke. And that'll give you your standard outside smoke wall. Like so. If you wanted to throw it with 2 people, you can throw this smoke, and then you can go to the front right here and aim here and jump throw. And that's another way to throw the same set of smokes, really. But if that's just if you want to do it with 2 people. The only problem with these, I mean, they're traditional. You will probably have to expend some util to get across here, and I'll show you some stuff about that later, but I do have some other smokes that might be of interest. These are called the slant smokes. So by holding W, you can just wedge yourself into this corner here. And if you aim above the top of this frame right here, in the middle of it, and then go up, and jump throw. This is the first part of the slant smokes. So this will land here, cutting off the gap to here, and from the same exact position, you can also aim at the top corner here and do a W jump throw. So I literally just hit W and jump throw at the same time, and you end up with a smoke here. And as you can tell, this kind of gives you a lot more room to work with outside. You can clear out a lot more space when the smoke's down here. You have a lot more space to work with out here, and you can clear out some stuff a little bit better. The only thing to note is that you can be seen if you're crossing from heaven. So it might be best to have an opper, maybe peek that, or use some utility, like some flashes to get them off. Staying with that same exact spot in this corner here, just use W to wedge yourself in there. If you follow the corner of this building up to where this railing meets and jump throw, you'll have this. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. You have this smoke here that blooms down in front of Mini. So if you want to cut off Mini, you can throw that. Pretty useful. From this position here, you can throw 2 smokes that are helpful as well. You can throw garage by aiming between where the building here starts and where the windows start along the silo. So in the middle, right here. And jump throw for garage. And you can aim at this cross section right here between these 2 beams, and jump throw for a secret smoke. So as you can see, garage blooms like that, no gap, side to side, and then secret lands in front right there. I said earlier if you threw the standard smoke wall and not the slant smokes that you're going to have to contend with these angles and garage if you don't decide to smoke it. And sometimes it's not best to use three pieces of util when one piece will do the job. But well, if you need to cross out, you can stay along this line here and aim here, and then left click about in the middle, just like that, to get a little cross smoke that'll pop. It'll allow you to work out. Also, you can use this off to the side to kind of maybe one-way this if you want to try and catch someone off with that. If you throw that, it's also wise to throw a flash while running, just kind of like this, that lands behind the box here. So while you're running out, you're not going to be blind to it, but it will be blinding to the CTs. You can also do something very similar with a nade, where you can just kind of like throw a nade like this. That will condition the CTs not to try and sit up here, because it is a pretty powerful position to be in and quite annoying to deal with. It's one of the best spots to fight top silo from. Just something to know there. Moving on to A. Now, I'll start off with a couple more eco-based smokes. The first of which is going to be from this position here, and mind you, from here on out, if it's going through a window, it needs to be broken. So again, make sure you're breaking those windows off spawn. So you go up to this light here, and then you count 1, 2 posts over, and then go up about this far. I don't know. If you go too close to it, like at the corner here, it won't hit. So make sure you're about here, and just jump through that for a smoke that drops through here, and then by the time that you come through lobby and you break off the door here, this is smoked off here, and you can just drop. So again, that is a jump throw about this position right here. To smoke, or to molly top hut, this was a lineup that I remember, I think Stewie came up with, Stewie 2K, back in CSGO, and it still works here. So the initial setup is to count 1, 2, 3 rungs up on the ladder in the middle of it, so this position here. And you're going to try and find that position when you get along this truck right here. You're just going to set it up, you're going to take your hand basically off your crosshair, go up, and then when you pass this line here, you're going to jump throw. So, all in one motion, that molly would look something like this. And it lands top hut. Even though it didn't that time. Don't worry about it though. And let's see, what's next? Top hut. There's a more easier way to do that from up here. Not on a rush, but if you're trying to just actually take your time with it, is to line up on this, looking straight down at that, and find these 2 screws, kind of, and just kind of memorize where those are, like on the wall. And then basically take about 2 steps while running, or think if you, right when you're about to fall off of this, take 2 steps and then do it again at these 2 screws, like on the line, and then up to the top. So like I think of it as like 1, 2 step throw. And as you can see, that's a top on molly. You can throw a nade that lands top hut by doing pretty much the exact same thing. However, I think that you can also throw one from here. That might not coagulate space as much. Yeah, if you aim about here in this darker spot, and then you take like a step and throw, or 2 steps and throw, just something of the sort like that, you're going to be able to bank it down and land it kind of on the forehead of someone who's chilling right here. Let's see what else. From up here, on this side of the, what do you call this? Vent? You can aim between this pair of second notches here, just like this, and jump throw a molly for a molly that lands behind a site here. And if you use the exact same setup with a flashbang, what you end up with is a pretty cool flash that will actually pop behind the silo here. So it's completely safe to players that are walking out hut like this, all the way until they get to, like, you know, here. If you're passing this staircase, it's probably gonna blind you, but it is a good flash to know regardless. It's a really, really good flash, actually. So make sure you have that one in your noggin. If you go into this corner here and left click a flash at this bottom corner here, it'll bank inside the wall here, completely safe as you're running out, and it'll blind anyone top rafters, but you literally need to be past this yellow line to even be clipped by it. And you can also combo that by aiming up here and run throwing a flash. It'll pop out here and blind anything on this side. So it's a good little combo of flashes to throw if you need to get out hut. Just like so. From the back of ramp here, if you ever find yourself smoked off and you want to nade out the back box, go into this here, aim at the right side of this light, go down to the door frame, left click, and then just left click, just let it go when you are passing through the door frame. And that'll absolutely just peg someone back here for over 50 damage, so make sure you use that. Go into this corner here. Once you guys have this kind of control here and you're ready to peek out towards hell, if you have this held down and your teammates are setting up, you can throw this flash where you just get into this corner, aim at the light, and then left click for a flash that blinds off all of back ramp and hell. And it's team safe as well, so as your teammates are pushing out, they're not going to be blinded to it until they get to here. Let's see. When you're pushing through secret, actually I'll stick with ramp. It's easier. So while we're on the same page here, so from ramp you can, if you break these out and then take a molly and do something like this, you can molly off the double side. You can more shallow. You can throw it deeper. You can throw it really slanted like this, and this will actually land all the way towards double stairs here. But you can just throw some very easy mollies. Like I said, if you stay on a much tighter angle, you can just molly off double completely. If you stay wider, you'll be able to cut off the ability for them to go control and molly out this back left corner. Use that to your advantage. You don't really have to even peek anything. You can just bank a nade like this, or just left click a nade like this to smoke off control. And there, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Some of these other smokes, you can just like left click a smoke over in this area if you wanted to like try and smoke off double, but you can throw those on the fly, and there's not really any preset lineup for it. Same with kind of this position here. You can kind of just run through a molly like this off the wall. You don't really have to over peek, but you can molly off the stairs here for anyone holding. And then same here, you don't really have to over peek either if you just kind of go into like this area where you can just see the entirety of that. Make sure that you're not clipping though. And aim up like at this piping up here. And then left click, you can molly off the decon stairs for anyone that might be playing that. And it also mollies off the jump spotting. This is actually a really common thing for people to do if you don't know about this, to sit over here and just constantly keep your head hitting. You can spot this entire area up here and watch as people are crossing. So it's something to know. On the CT side, there's not a whole lot of util that I can really give you. I will do what I can. This is a smoke that you can throw, just like so, to be able to cross up a little bit further and kind of make the T's think about what they're doing. And just like they can throw a flash, that pops just over like this and is safe to them. You can do the exact same thing. Like, you can use this box to your advantage. Now, the angle's a bit different because it's more helpful for the Ts than it is for the CTs. This angle will make it want to go out to the right a lot more than from the other side. So make note of that. But this is just such a strong position that you would be... It'd be wise to know how to get there and maybe work around it. Similarly, if you're playing Heaven... some two more essential like off the beginning of the map, you can throw a molly like so to molly off door to prevent a rush. It's just kind of at the level of like this railing here, and then running. Just you can land it inside the door, and it's very strong. You can do kind of just the same thing with hut, but I mean that's also pretty self-explanatory. There was some really cool stuff you could do in Go where you could land mollies behind the door and it would look from hut side, like it would merge through the wall here, like in the lobby, and it would make it look like you mollied off, and then all of a sudden you just came flying through because it actually just stuck behind the door. Just cool stuff that you could do that CS2 kind of got rid of, like the Heaven one-way smoke. But that's all something else entirely. If you're an A player and you want to help your teammates outside, you can break out these two windows here, and you can find this wire here just below the corner of the window and jump throw for an outside supporting flash. It's safe for anyone playing in garage, and it's incredibly blinding for anyone outside and on top of hut or on top of silo. I do believe it blinds off any angle that's sitting like this. Like if you're sitting here, you're gonna get blind. So just make sure your teammates know that it's not what it's safe from and what it's not safe from. Also, let's see what else we got. From Heaven, a couple retake smokes you can use if you find yourself getting pushed off. By going into this back corner here, you can crouch and aim at the base of this light and left click for a hut molly, and then aim at this position right here while standing, and left click for a blue box molly. You can do the same thing by sitting here and looking between these two lines in line with this part here for a under Heaven molly. And you can also, from the same position, bank a flash off this guy's knee that will pop down and allow you to take some fights, blinding off alt vent and other things like that. You can throw the same utility set from this back corner. Make sure you're not here, but that you're here on this right side of it. If you're here, you can throw smoke at the level of this right here to give yourself the ability to fight off some of these angles, to isolate some gunfights and fight this without being exposed to this really powerful head glitch. Like this angle right here that holds up to Heaven. If you want to avoid fighting that with that, and you want to just take some gunfights on site, I would recommend using that smoke. From this corner here, you can use the exact same reference point to molly off blue box, and you can also take a flash like so and use it in the same way to take gunfights. So, I think that's all I really have on Nuke at the moment. So, like I've said before, I hope you learned something from this video and that you take it into your next game. And just for redemption, there's that top up molly on the rush. So, hope you learned something from this video. Have a great rest of your day and whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you guys next time on Overpass. See ya.